Hello and welcome to this audio overview of the job for Logistics Coordinator at Logisticorp. Hi, my name is Mark Galvan. I'm a recruiting manager and I work for a third-party recruiting company that is responsible for recruiting operations in support of Logisticorp. And so we have the ability to be very brutally honest and transparent about what we're doing and what we're looking for. So this information is not on the web. It's not in the job description. It's for your eyes only and for your ears only. As a candidate, we want you to have all the information necessary to make a good decision. So here we go. Why we're doing this, first of all, is it's very time sensitive. We're trying to find a person for this position ASAP. So that means what we're doing is we're getting you the information in audio format, in a recording, because if we tried to set up a phone conversation and schedule it with a recruiter, it could go back and forth and it could spill into next week. But this way, you can listen to this today, anytime you have a break in the car, whatever. So if we do the normal process, a recruiter would call you and have a conversation, give you some information, and then you would respond with answers to a bunch of questions. And that's kind of like a pre-screening interview. This way, what we do is you can listen to all the information at your convenience, and then we're going to invite you to complete a questionnaire. It's the same kind of questions we would normally ask you over the phone, but it gives you a chance to very thoughtfully consider your answers instead of being on the spot on a phone call. So it's actually, now, if you're getting this, it's because you've already been moved to stage 3 or 4 in this process. So you may have seen a job posting or gotten an email from us and responded. We took a look at your background, experience, resume, and given thumbs up to moving you forward to the next step. So this is not available publicly. This is what we want you to be able to see as a pre-approved candidate for this potential opportunity. So at this point, what we want to do is we want to give you a chance to listen and then complete a questionnaire. And then after we review it, it gives us a chance to get back to you with next steps. And again, this is moving forward very rapidly. So it's kind of an ASAP kind of thing. Now, on the process, and we will help you through the process and get you set up if the hiring manager agrees to next steps. Now, first of all, if you're in any one of these scenarios, this may be the perfect opportunity for you. For example, you're between jobs and you're just looking for something to get back into a role where it's consistent with your experience. I mean, that's great, but beyond the fact that it's a good, stable, long-term job and it's full-time and it has benefits, there's also an opportunity to work for a very large company with very large logos on your resume. So if you've worked for a large company in the past, you know that you're actually more valuable in the marketplace if you've got a well-recognized company on your resume. So in this case, Logisticorp is a mid to large company with 400 plus employees in multiple states and has many large contracts with very large customers. In this case, the customer that we're supporting is Encore, the big Texas utility company. So to have Encore on your resume is a great thing forever going forward. Now, the other thing that is available here is there's a long-term commitment to this opportunity. The company has an agreement to provide Encore logistics and transportation services over multiple years. So this is a permanent job. It's not a temporary job. So more on that later. Again, my name's Mark Galvan. I'm a recruiting manager, and my job is to be as transparent with you as possible about the role and the opportunity. So I'm going to give you some more details now so that you can decide if this is a good fit for you. So first of all, I mentioned that we're a recruiting company. The hiring company is Logisticorp. The customer is Encore, just to be clear. And this is a position that's physically located in one of the Encore yards in Grand Prairie. So if you're in that area, then this may be perfect for you. The job requires a background with prior skills and experience with some of the things related to logistics management. So if you've done work in the past related to, say, driver scheduling, route planning, dispatch, or maybe logistics, coordinating workflow, or similar experience, that's absolutely critical. One of the things that's important is that, in designing the routes for the drivers, we are trying to optimize those routes so that they're not wasting time running in different directions on routes that are inefficient. Also, there's materials and equipment that are loaded onto those trucks. So obviously, as a logistics coordinator, you're not involved in that work, but you're designing the next day or two schedule and figuring out what goes where. So if you've been involved in that type of planning work, then that's fantastic. That's what we're looking for. Now, the job in itself requires being available very early in the morning. Okay, that's the biggest bad news here. So the bad news is 4 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, I know. So, someone is thinking, yeah, that's great. I love waking up early and I got the rest of my day free. That's absolutely right. But if you're not if you're not an early bird or have problems being dependable early in the morning, then this may not be for you. So the good news is that once you're done doing all the planning work, your day's kind of over. I mean, there's a chance that you could leave early and still get paid because you're full-time salaried, and you may have short days. I mean, that's the reality of it, because once the planning and the logistics work is done, then the team is executing the work, and you're not necessarily involved in that. Now, the work does require that you're available, however, nearly 24/7 in case you got to get on a computer or deal with something, or on a day where there's bad weather. For example, if we have rain, snow, ice, something that delays scheduling or delivery, and the team's got to be working later in the day, it could require an adjustment in the hours, or that you're available to deal with something at a different time. So ultimately, you are the person that's doing the logistics management for this project, this operation, and you own it. So if that's exciting to you, then that's fantastic. Ultimately, you're reporting to an operations manager, but you are the senior most expert when it comes to logistics planning and are responsible for that work. So, really good things about that, and it does require the flexibility. So another thing about the role is that there's some eligibility requirements. You've got to pass a drug test. You got to pass a background check. The security screening is critical, and you have to be able to, demonstrate that you're capable in all these different areas with either past experience or something on your resume. Now, what I want to go into real briefly is the rewards for the position, because while the position is currently advertised at $50,000 to $55,000 a year, salaried, there's some flexibility in there based on prior experience. So when we say commensurate with experience, hey, if you're bringing 10 years of prior experience, you're going to be toward the top end of that pay scale. But the company does offer a rewards package, a benefits package that is pretty significant. So yes, there's health insurance and dental and vision and all that, but there's even a 401k plan with a match from the company, and you don't have to be around 3 years to get the vesting on the match. It's immediate. So that's pretty extraordinary. There's also supplemental insurances like group life and short-term disability and other things. As a FYI, there's weekly pay, and there is paid training associated. So you're going to be onboarded and ramped up, probably drinking from a fire hose a little bit if you don't have the prior experience. And if you have experience with Velocity, one of the software packages used for logistics planning, then that's even better. So again, I told you I was going to be very straight and honest about this so that you could make a good decision. Because if you're the right person, then this is going to move really fast, I'm telling you. Okay, so back to the benefits. The money is pretty commensurate with the market. and the opportunity is long-term. So there's a lot of value and stability in that. However, the idea that you're going to be working for a company that has growth and is well recognized and has significant logos for your resume does produce a lot of long-term value for you. So I just want to highlight the fact that, there's some short-term benefits and some long-term benefits as well from a career perspective. So the last thing I would just say is, you can have all the technical skills in the world, but if you're not a people person, then that's probably going to be an issue, because that's what you're doing all day. You're doing planning and working with people to make sure that everybody's going in the right direction, doing the right things. So if you also have had customer service, for example, if you've got dispatch or management experience before, supervisory experience or project management, you definitely have those people skills. So and then the last thing is just extraordinary dependability, because you are the person that is managing and driving the logistics work. Now, sometimes we get enough information from the client, from Encore, the customer, that you can do the planning a couple days out. And that really, really lightens the load for you in terms of your daily workload. Okay, so where we're at now is if you're listening to all this and you're thinking, wow, this is like perfect, then we definitely want you to complete the questionnaire. And I would just advise you to not blow through it and dump in short answers. If this is something that really interests you, it's a chance for you to stand out, because we actually spend probably more time looking at the answers on the questionnaire than we do on the resume, because we're asking for very specific things. And so we read every word. So don't hesitate to give us more information, not less, on the questionnaire, because we're going to use that with the resume to figure out where we're going with you specifically. Okay. At this point, we are looking at scheduling either Zoom or phone interviews with the hiring manager as probably the next step. So like I said, this is going to move very quickly. And depending on if you're in transition and immediately available, or if you need to give a week's notice or something like that, again, this could continue to just move very rapidly. And I'll just tell you that regardless of what happens, we deeply appreciate everybody that goes through the process as a candidate. And one of the things that we promise is that if you're not selected, that we will still come back and give you some access to career information, coaching, advice on interviewing, information on how to beef up your resume, anything that'll help you in your career journey. That's our way of saying thank you to anybody that participates in this process. So I don't want to go too long. Those are the critical things I wanted to be able to share about the role. And at this point, ball's in your court. We're looking forward to getting your information and figuring out next steps. Thank you for listening, and we'll look forward to seeing the information from you soon.